Assalamu alaikum dear students. I am Mohammad Asim Sultan, lecturer in Botany, Government Postgraduate College, Patak. Dear students, I hope you are fine and concentrating on your studies. Today, in lecture 5, we are going to discuss the polysaccharides which were left. Last time we discussed starch in detail, and today we will discuss the remaining 5 polysaccharides. And number 1 is glycogen. Glycogen is an extensively branched polymer of alpha glucose. So it is also a polysaccharide and it is extensively branched polymer of alpha glucose. In starch we had seen that there were two types, amylose and amylopectin. Amylose was straight chain with 1,4 linkage, while amylopectin has straight as well as branch chains with 1,4 and 1,6 linkages. But here in glycogen the branches are more extensive than than amylopectin. So this is the main difference. If we discuss the properties of glycogen, so number one property is enzyme glycogen phosphorylase catalyzes the hydrolysis of glycogen. So if we want to break glycogen, the enzyme it catalyzes it is glycogen phosphorylase. Next property is that glycogen gives glucose on hydrolysis. Because it is polymer of glucose, so definitely it will give glucose on hydrolysis. Third property is that it is the chief storage compound in animals, so it is also called animal starch. Just like plants store starch, and animals store excess glucose in the form of glycogen. Fourth property is that it is found in all animal cells, because all animal cells need energy, and in animal cells main energy reserve is glycogen. Then it is high in concentration in muscle and liver cells, because muscle and liver cells need a lot of energy, so its concentration is higher there and it is stored there. Okay, glycogen is insoluble in water, not soluble in water. In starch we have seen that amylose was soluble in hot water, but in glycogen is not soluble in water, and it gives red color with iodine. Starch gives blue color and glycogen gives red color. Now we can look at the structure of glycogen. You can see that this above circle, concentrate on this above circle, and you can see that it has same alpha 1,4 and 1,6 linkage just like amylopectin. Only difference is that it has extensive branching as compared to amylopectin in starch. So this was their structure, and now we move for the next polysaccharide, that is cellulose. What is cellulose? Polymer of beta glucose monomers. So properties we'll say that its structure is formed from beta glucose monomers, and beta glucose monomers are linked by 1,4 linkage. So it is beta 1,4 linkage. So this is the structure of cellulose, and the enzyme that amylose act on starch, but it cannot act on cellulose. The reason is that amylose can act only on alpha 1,4 linkage one. So alpha bond, because alpha 1 and alpha bond is not present here, so amylose cannot work, and the enzyme which will catalyze the digestion of cellulose is cellulase. Why cellulase? because it can work on beta glycosidic linkages, which amylase cannot. Okay, now where cellulase enzyme is present? It is present in bacteria and many other organisms which are found in the gut of herbivores. Digestive tract is also called gut. So herbivores are herbivores and they consume grasses and which contain cellulose, which is digested by cellulose present in bacteria which are found in their gut. Next property is it yields glucose molecule on hydrolysis. Definitely it is also a polymer of glucose, so it will yield glucose. Next property is most abundant carbohydrate in nature. So this is a very important point, that cellulose is the most abundant carbohydrate in nature. The reason behind it, you can say that plant cell wall is made up of cellulose, and plants are the main producers on earth in very high amounts, so that's why cellulose is the most abundant carbohydrate in nature, and cotton is a pure form of cellulose. Next point is that cellulose is the main constituent of cell wall, and it forms its fibrous part. Glucose molecules of cellulose chains are held together by to form microfibrils. So we have discussed the structure that it is formed of straight chains of beta glucose 1,4 linkages. These chains are connected with one another through hydrogen binding. So they form microfibrils by this hydrogen bonding, and microfibrils unite together and they form cellulose fibrils. And these cellulose fibrils are embedded in the matrix of hemicelluloses and pectins. So in cell wall, cellulose microfibrils are embedded in hemicellulose and pectin matrix. If we discuss the solubility, it is insoluble in water, just like glycogen, and it does not react with iodine, so it will give no color with iodine. Now you can see the structure. Focus on the three chains below, and you can say that these three chains are linked by hydrogen bonding. If you zoom in, you can see that all these three chains are linked by hydrogen bondings with each other to form microfibrils, and then they all unite to form cellulose fibrils. Now we have a table, and in this table we will differentiate all these three main polysaccharides: starch, glycogen, and cellulose, in these 7 points. So number 1 point is that starch is form of alpha glucose monomers. Glycogen is also formed of alpha glucose monomers, while cellulose is formed of beta glucose monomers. Next point is starch may or may not be branched, because starch have two types, amylose and amylopectin. We know that amylose is unbranched and amylopectin is branched, while glycogen is highly branched, and cellulose is also a straight chain of glucose, so it is not branched as well. Third point is about bonding. In starch there are two types of bonding, 1,4 and 1,6. If unbranched, then 1,4 linkage will be present, and in branched chains it is 1,6 linkage is present. Same is the case with glycogen, while in cellulose there is only beta 1,4 glycosidic linkages. If we come towards their role, starch is the chief storage compound in plants, glycogen the chief storage compounds in animals, while cellulose is the main structural component of plant cell wall. Now if we come toward their digestion, the starch is digested by amylase enzyme, while glycogen is digested by glycogen phosphorylase enzyme, and cellulose is digested by cellulase enzyme. Next is their solubility. Starch may or may not be soluble in hot water. We know that amylose is soluble in hot water while amylopectin is not soluble, while glycogen and cellulose both are not soluble in water. Now in the last point we will discuss the iodine test. Starch gives blue color with iodine, glycogen gives red color with iodine, and cellulose does not react with iodine, so it does not give any color. This was all about the three main polysaccharides. Now we will discuss the next polysaccharide, that is chitin. Chitin is a polymer of glucose amine monomers. So it is made up of glucose amine monomers. We will discuss its properties. Number one property is composed of amino sugar monomers, because amino sugars are linked together to form chitin. And when amino group links to a glucose molecule, the one hydroxyl group of glucose molecule is removed and it is replaced by NHCOCI3 group. NHCOCI3 group. So in this way, these glucosamine monomers are formed and they link together to form chitin. What is it? So it is a structured polysaccharide. Why? Because the cell wall of fungi is made up of chitin and it also forms the exoskeleton of arthropods. Arthropods are creatures or animals with jointed feet. Here we can see the structure of chitin, and you can see that there are two glucose molecules, and below you can see NHCOCI3 group in both glucose molecules. So this is how chitin is formed. Next polysaccharide is pectin. What are pectins? They are polymer of alpha galacturonic acid residues. Alpha galacturonic acid residues. So what are their properties? They are important component of middle lamella of plant cell wall, and pectins are bound together by calcium ions. So calcium ion is bonded with them, and most of the middle lamella is formed of calcium and magnesium salts of pectic acids. So they are important component of middle lamella. Here we can see the structure of pectin. We have discussed before that they are made of alpha galacturonic acid residues. Now you can see these two pinkish arrows pointing towards the alpha galacturonic acid groups which are joined together. So in this way pectins are formed, and on both left and right side you can see methyl ester groups are also attached. So this is the structure of pectin. Next, the last polysaccharide is which we are going to discuss is hemicelluloses. Hemicelluloses are formed by xyloglucan units. What are their properties? A chain of beta glucose subunits form the backbone of xyloglucan, and a side chain of xylose is attached to it. So if we can see the structure on the next page, I will explain it. Look at this. In the above chain you can see all three glucose molecules are attached to each other, and below you can see a molecule of xylose. So in this way hemicelluloses are formed. The backbone is of glucose molecules, while at some intervals you can see xylose is also attached, linked to them. So now you can clarify that a chain of beta glucose subunits form the backbone of xyloglucan, and a side chain of xylose is attached to it. Here you can see a side chain of xylose is attached to a backbone of glucose molecules. Okay. Next, xyloglucan forms hydrogen bonding with cellulose microfibrils in primary wall, thus it stabilizes the primary cell wall. So this is the role of hemicellulose, that it stabilizes the primary cell wall by forming hydrogen bonding with cellulose microfibrils. So this was all about the polysaccharides, and our carbohydrate portion of cell biology is completed today. So till next video or next lecture, Allah Hafiz.